Yo, what's up, everybody? This is my second time going live last night. Those of you that watched, y'all saw that debacle. But anyway, real talk. Appreciate everybody that watched last night. I watched a video today and I had to come and speak about it. And I'm going to do it in real time. My live reaction to the video that I saw with Mark Lamont Hill and some of his little clowns got on TV trying to clown Kyrie Irving because of a decision he made when it came to the vaccine. Now, I know a lot of people like to give disclaimers about the vaccine. I'm not doing that because it's just an opinion. I'm not stating anything as fact. But at the same time, if they can get on here and talk about it, I think we should be able to get on and talk about it as well. As you see below, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel by any means, you could do it this way. You see it on the little ticker below. But anyway, we're not going to, delay this any further. We're going to talk about this little show that I saw. And if you like these t-shirts, I don't want the Fauci ouchie. You see it. Let me make sure y'all can see. If you like it, if you want to copy one, let me know. We'll get you one. I might give some out, But anyway, this video that I saw is interesting. And so we're going to kind of just dissect it, together and go from there. You feel me? So let's just go ahead and get into the video. Just going to add it to the screen and we're going to talk about it. All right.
Back to Black news tonight. The Brooklyn Nets have barred Kyrie Irving from all team activities. This was in response to his unwillingness to take the COVID-19 vaccine. They also will not be extending his contract at the end of the season. The point guard decided to go to Instagram Live last night. He had some stuff to say. Take a listen.
It's just really about being true to what feels good for me. I'm still uncertain about a lot of things, and that's okay. If I'm going to be demonized for having more questions and taking my time to make a decision with my life, then that's just what it is.
Joining me now is the former NBA player Etan Thomas. He is the author of We Matter, Athletes and Activism. Also, Amin El Hassan is going to join me. He is a commentator at Meadowlark and a media host at Sirius XM Radio. Etan, thank you for joining me. How do you feel about this Kyrie situation? I mean, this is something that obviously has never happened in NBA history before. You got a guy who, maybe at the peak of his powers, who helped put together one of the greatest basketball teams ever assembled. And he's not going to play because he doesn't want to get the vaccine, and the NBA is beholden to the New York state laws or New York City laws, which say that he can't play unless he gets vaccinated as a New York employee. So he's sitting this one out for so far. What do you make of it?
I mean, it's interesting. I've been listening to a lot of commentary and reading articles over the last week or two discussing Kyrie. And there's a lot with it. It's interesting. I noticed that a lot of the same people who praised athletes for using their platform or using their positions to stand up for what they believe in now are sounding a little bit like the right. They sound a little bit more.
Let me pause real quick. I thought this wasn't political. They always hollering, that the COVID pandemic is not political, but this dude, straight off the gate, he talking about what the right does. It's not political, right? It's supposed to be about public health, but yet and still he making it about the Republicans or the conservatives. These people are funny to me. Then Mark Lamont Hill, he had like he's, excited, over the fact that Kyrie Irving is not able to play ball because he is making a personal choice not to get the jab. That should be a personal choice. That shouldn't be a mandate. That shouldn't be something they're trying to put into law. Whatever the case may be, it should be a personal choice like it has been with all vaccines. And again, I'm not telling people to get the vax. I'm not telling people not to get the vax. That should be your choice. As for me, like I said, I don't want the Fauci ouchie. It's just that simple. But these guys right here are funny. And by the end, when you see this dude at the end, I'm gonna clown him too because, like I said, it's meet the clowns. Tyler Perry had Meet the Browns, but I guess Mark Lamont Hill has Meet the Clowns because they always coming out here want to make everything about race or political. But at the same time, if you attack them or if you say something they don't agree with, then they want to go on this smear campaign. And me personally, as a black man that is a conservative that understands the rhetoric they putting out here, man, I ain't with it. So let me go back to the video.
Ingramish. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, a little bit like Tucker Carlson, almost you know, in the ridicule part. Now we don't have to agree with Kyrie, but just the description. And I've been kind of amazed to see the way in which, you know, people are using words like stupid and foolish and ignorant and everything. I'm like, wait a minute, that's what Sean Hannity and them do. We don't do that. So that's one of the main things that I've seen that I've really been disappointed in. We expect it from the right. You know, that's what they did with Colin Kaepernick. Or they purposely misrepresented what Kyrie Irving's stance was, what Jonathan Isaac's stance was, Bradley Beal, all the people who said that they were hesitant in taking the vaccine. And like you heard Kyrie say in the clip, demonize them. And I've got to tell you honestly, Mark, I was kind of disappointed to see that because, again, that's what the right does. That's what I expect from Fox News, not from a lot of the people that I heard.
So you're trying to say that the people on the left, this dude right here is a joke. You're trying to say that people on the left don't call people stupid. I believe Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo was on TV on CNN calling people, you know, calling them stupid. You know, basically Maxine Waters, she get out here and she say, you know, impeach 45, you know, calling him unhinged and calling him, you know, a disaster to America and all these different things. They can say these things, but God knows the people on the right better not say anything. But now we're seeing the left attacking the left. What's going on, Lawrence? What's going on with you, bro? Now we're seeing the left attack the left. Now, this is ironic to me. When Kyrie Irving was doing this right here, everybody was down for, you know, Kyrie Irving because he was supporting this right here, you know, Black Lives Matter. But the moment that he began to say, no, I'm gonna make a personal choice when it comes to my personal health, then all of a sudden they got a problem. These people are funny, they're ludicrous, and anybody with common sense that have eyes to see and ears to hear know that what they're saying is not making sense. You're basically trying to tell somebody what to do with their body, how they need to move. And I feel like this, any person should be able to make decisions that they're making about their own personal life. Period. Point blank, the end. Back to the video.
So specifically the Laura Ingraham reference you're talking to is when she told LeBron to shut up and dribble. And so the idea is don't speak about politics, don't talk about anything, just play basketball. And we said, oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Players have a right to use their platform and talk. But to your point, Kyrie's using his platform to talk. We just don't like what he's saying, some people, and myself included. I don't like what he's saying, but I wouldn't.
You don't like what he's saying, so automatically we need to shut him down. We need to make him look bad in the eyes of people because he's not saying what I agree with, and I don't like it. So he needs to just shut up. In essence, what you're saying is what Laura Ingraham said to LeBron James to shut up and dribble. That's what y'all basically saying to Kyrie is shut up and dribble. Dude, shut up. We pay you all this money. Get out here and do what we tell you to do. We want you to entertain the people. We want you to distract them while we do other things that we need to do that will go over these people head, and you won't do it. You won't comply. So now we need to sit you on the bench. What makes sense? And what makes sense about that? And what I like about Kyrie Irving is that he's standing on what he believes, and that's something that all Americans should be able to do. I don't care who you are. We don't have to agree with what you do, but you should be able to have the right to do it. Period. As long as it's not hurting anyone physically. And I know a lot of people say, well, COVID is killing so many people. It's killed 700,000 people in America, and I'm killed over about 6 million people in the world. Okay, granted, that is sad, that is horrible. But at the same time, people should make a personal choice if they want to live or die. I mean, they even have, at one time they was trying to say that they want to make it legal for people to commit suicide. If that's what they want to do. So I don't understand, like, how is it one way, at one time, and then when a person make a decision that goes against the narrative, everybody want to smear them. These people are a whole live joke.
Call him stupid. I just disagree with him. So he goes to IG Live, and he says, I'm not going through the media. I'm not going to go call up Stephen A. Smith. I'm not going to call Mark Lamont Hill. I'm not going to talk to Jamel Hill. No, I'm going to do my IG Live direct. The people are going to hear from me. He said because he's been demonized, because he wants to be heard and understood. Did he make his point on IG Live? Did he say the things that needed to be said?
I mean, he said that he wasn't retiring, which was reported all through the media, where they were saying that he was going to, quit and hang it up rather than take the vaccine. And he said, no, that's not true. The thing that I like about the players nowadays is that, because it's not like when I was playing, we didn't have social media, so they could go right to their own platform like Kyrie Irving did and said, no, everything that person reported is untrue. All of their anonymous sources, I don't know where they got them from, but that is not how I feel. And that's the part that I respect about this generation, because they're doing this so much more often. Now, again, do we have to agree with what Kyrie Irving is saying? No. But do we have to demean him and belittle him and demonize him because of that? That's the part that we can't fall into that category. And like I said, that's the Laura Ingraham category. That's the Bill O'Reilly category. And I've seen too many. I mean, we expect certain things from Stephen A. Smith. Since you brought him up, you mentioned Stephen A. Smith. We expect certain things from him. He's performative. He's going to talk very loudly, and ESPN's going to pay him even more money to talk even more loudly. That's what he does. But Stephen A. Smith aside, why would Kyrie Irving go to some of these different same reporters who've been demonizing him? I don't see why he would. Now, people are now saying, well, what is his clear message? What is his clear stance? Well, I mean, if you really want to, make somebody's stance of what they're saying seem really, really doubtful or demean them or discredit them, you'll do what is happening a lot of times in media today on all different talk shows after Kyrie, made his statement on Instagram Live. But the point is, what he said is, I am not retiring. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm still working through this process. I would like to play. Those are the main key points that should be the main takeaways out of everything that he said.
So again, you raised some important points here. Kyrie Irving absolutely clarified it. He's not retiring. That was something we'd heard he was going to retire if he got traded. Some people said he was going to retire not to get vaccinated. He took that off the table. He said he's not anti-vaccine, right, meaning he's open to the possibility of being vaccinated. That's an important point. But there were some other things he said that weren't clear. He said he was doing his research. He expressed that he was vaccine hesitant. But it's not entirely clear to me what will lead him to make a different choice. In other words, what does he need to find out in order to feel comfortable getting the vaccine? If he is willing to get one, wouldn't training camp be the time? Wouldn't the preseason be the time? The season starts in 5 days. If he hasn't gotten it yet, when is he going to get it? These are the types of questions I think he didn't answer very clearly. I mean, did you walk away with a sense of whether or not he's going to get the vaccine or not?
I walked away thinking that he was still working through the process, like a large portion of this country is still working through. If you look at the vaccination numbers per state, I mean, there's some are in the 50s, some are in the 60s. We have a large portion who are still working through that process. I just think it's interesting that, right now the NBA is 95% vaccinated. 95%. All right. So you look at different states all across the country, nobody's at 95%. I mean, and we expect the NBA to be at 100% because we want, the only thing that matters is for NBA games to start and for everybody to be vaccinated. I think that's a little bit unfair of an expectation to have for NBA players. They're working through the vaccine concerns and questions just like the rest of the country is. But one of the things that I do want to say, though, Mark, is I want to hear more about the different people and demonization towards the different groups who aren't unvaccinated, like the NYPD, like the LAPD, like the Chicago Police Department, all these police departments all across the country that have said, not they're working through their research, not they're working through the process, they said, we are not getting the vaccine. You know what I mean? And those are at high numbers. You have only 60% of.
I hate the pauses, dude, but yeah, let me go back and unpack some of the stuff that Mark Lamont Hill was saying. He was basically saying, why won't Kyrie Irving give us an answer, basically? He had opportunity before training camp. We basically need a definitive answer. He don't have to answer anybody. That's between him, his doctor, and God and his family. He don't have to explain nothing to us. Just because he entertained us or he get out there and dribble a ball doesn't mean he got to give us all insights to his life. And that's the thing that tripped me out about these pundits. They want to get on TV or on the internet, and they want to basically say, well, you need to give me an answer right now as to what you want to do. But they didn't have that same energy when it came to President Biden, when they was asking about court packing and all this and the third. Let's go to that clip real quick. We're going to jump back to that video, but let's go to where Joe Biden was asked questions and he refused to answer. And these people voted for him allegedly, and I say allegedly because I don't have any proof, whichever way. But they voted for him at 81 million, more than the first black president, Barack Hussein Obama. But let's go to that video where Joe Biden skirted the question. He didn't answer the question, but they mad at Kyrie Irving because he don't want to give them all insights. Let's go to the video real quick.
Packing. We had 3 justices. Next time around, we lose control. They had 3 justices. We began to lose any credibility for the court has at all.
Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. They'll know my opinion of court packing when the election is over. Now, look, I know it's a great question, y'all, and I don't blame you for asking it. But you know, the moment I answer that question, the headline in every one of your papers will be about that. Other than focusing on what's happening now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game. He'd love me to talk about, and I've already said something on court pack. He'd love that to be the discussion instead of what he's doing now. He's about to make a pick in the middle of an election, first time it's ever been done. The only court packing going on right now. It's going on with the Republicans packing the court now. It's not constitutional what they're doing. We should be.
Now, as you see, President Biden, he had no problem skirting the question. He said, I'm not going to answer the question. I'm not going to answer until after the election. Because if I do, I know the media is going to blow up. Maybe Kyrie Irving is having the same, attitude. I'm not going to put all my business out there because as soon as I say whichever way it is, then the media is going to blow up on it. Just like the media is blowing up on the fact that I'm saying right now, I'm not doing the jab. That's my personal choice. But yet and still, they want to get mad at him because he don't want to get him a definitive answer. I wish LeBron James, I had some people really get upset with me because I say, I have more respect for Kyrie Irving at this point than I do LeBron James, because LeBron James is supposed to be the face of the NBA. I feel like if he's went out here and spoke up for Kyrie and said, look, I've gotten the jab, but if I respect the fact that Kyrie has not gotten the jab, then I think it's unfair, that he had to be benched because he don't want to do it. Now, I don't understand like how in 2020, all these people were considered heroes. When you have the police, when you have the medical industry, all of them, they're working. There was no problem with them working in the height of the pandemic. But then as soon as they refused to get a experimental jab, and I know a lot of people say, well, the FDA have approved it, whatever. What I'm saying is, but they worked before there was a vaccine. They worked, there was heroes. And now that they decide not to get a solution that is being propagated by the media and also the federal government, then what is the problem? I don't understand these people. And y'all know that this doesn't make sense. This is like backward as 2 left shoes. But back to the video with Lamont Hill, them, as I'm going to try to wrap this up real quick. I'm not trying to be here on live all day. And those of you that are here, if you want to comment, I'm definitely looking at the comments. I can see it today. Yesterday, I couldn't see it when I was, interviewing or having a debate with that. I ain't going to even say what I want to say. But anyway, back to the video.
The NYPD and the 60% percentile who are actually vaccinated, but we're worrying about Kyrie. I mean, these are people who literally are coming interactions with Americans every single day, and they don't want to wear a mask. So I mean, I just to put it into perspective, we're making a lot over like what, 1 player per team that isn't vaccinated in the NBA. I mean, I know people want their basketball and understand that's what it's all about, but we got to put it into perspective.
Well, I think it's about basketball, but it's also about what it means for a public figure and a celebrity to advance a position or seem to be advancing a position that some people find troublesome. So I think it's both. I think there's some selfish basketball stuff going on. And then I think there's the public platform piece of it. But hang in there, because I want to come back after the break and talk to you. We got Amin El-Hassan joining us as well. And we're going to keep this conversation going about Kyrie Irving, about vaccine hesitancy, and what it all means for the black community. Stay with us right here.
Oh, vaccine hesitancy and what it means for the black community. Look, there's more black people, even in white people. I mean, it's people in all races that are refusing or hesitant about this vaccine. And I know a lot of people say, well, if Trump told y'all to take the vaccine, y'all will do it. Nope. A lot of people are made their personal choice because it's their personal choice. And that's why I respect Donald Trump a whole lot, President Donald Trump a lot, is because he say it's a choice. He recommends people to get the vaccine. He believes it's safe, but he's saying that it should be a personal choice. That's something I can respect. But when you walk around here and you tell everybody they have to do it, and we have to get everybody to this herd immunity of 80%. First it was 70%, then it went to 80. Now it's probably at 90. You want 100% of people vaccinated, and they still could pass COVID. This is not something that I'm saying that's opinion. This is fact. CDC, they're saying that you can still spread COVID even with the jab. That's why they're having to come out with the booster shots, because the efficacy of the shots are not what they once were. They realized after 6 months that is not as potent as they quote unquote said it was. And then the guy talking about, I believe his name Ethan, talking about, the police and all these people not wanting to get the jab. That's a personal choice. When they signed their contracts, when they signed up for these jobs, it was not in the bylaws that when they signed up to work for these jobs that they had to take an experimental vaccine. That was never said. So if they decide to opt out of it, then it should be what they do. I mean, there was always a time where people had religious freedoms and they had exemptions and all these different things for various things. But when they come to this, they've been trying to make it harder for people even to get those exemptions. We already see what happened with Southwest, with the airplanes and all this stuff. It's just a bunch of ludicrous, a bunch of foolishness. And even the CEO said that really and truly that he would have never, ever pushed the mandates if it didn't come from the federal hierarchy, that he would never ever push that on them. So what I'm saying is the federal government is trying to basically throw a rock and hide their hands and say, nah, we're not making these companies do that. But in essence, you are. If you're telling them that they got more than 100 employees, they have to mandate it for people to get a jab, and then even some of these jobs are so crazy, backwoods crazy, where they're saying that if you work from home, you got to show a vaccination report. How does that make sense? I'm at home. I'm not around nobody. So why should it matter if I'm vaccinated or not? If we don't stand up against tyranny, they're going to continue to take the power that we relinquish to them. That's just me. And I mean, this ain't no talking point from Fox News or from Newsmax. This is just me and everyday thinking that if we keep giving up this power, we're going to keep on losing power. And that's one thing I realized as being a person that was molested as a young man, a male child, is that when my power was taken, the more power it was taken, and I never spoke up on it, the more that person overpowered me and molested me. But the minute I spoke out and I stood in my convictions and I stood on what I felt that was right, guess what? That couldn't happen anymore. My power was taken back. And that's all I'm saying. Americans need to stand up and take their power back. Don't let these people bully your kids, take over your kids, them your children. Don't let them do that. But this is what they're trying to do. And then you got people like Martin Lamont Hill that gets on here and he advocate and want to make everything about race. Yeah, Black people are skeptical about taking this vaccine because we have been experimenting on a lot. Okay, that makes sense. And it seemed like all these social justice warriors, they would probably stand up for that, but clearly they don't do that because it's all about the money, and it pisses me off. I'm trying not to get mad even talking. So let me go back to this video. That's about 6 minutes in there, and I'm about done, but let's go.
Here on Black News Tonight. Welcome back to Black News Tonight. We continue the discussion right now about NBA player Kyrie Irving and his decision not to get vaccinated and, of course, the aftermath of all of it. Back with me are the former NBA player Etan Thomas and the sports commentator Amin El-Hassan. Y'all, Kyrie confuses me. I mean, I'm going to start with you since we're bringing you in.
No, Mark Lamont, you confuse me. You're a ball of confusion. You are a clown to me, bro. You want to say he confuses you because he's not giving you the answers that you want? Man, you're a whole joke. And then this dude right here in the right bottom corner, You got on a mask for a virtual conversation. Do you not see how stupid this look? Do you not see how y'all are like idiots? You're having a virtual conversation. Now, I guess we can spread COVID through a video. This doesn't make sense. This dude is sitting there, and I mean, even if he's doing a video, most likely probably not within 6 feet of people. So this whole setup right here makes no sense, but it's called virtual signaling. And then, and a lot of these black people, I looked at the comments, they're pushing back on this stuff, man. When you go to these websites and you go to these different places, you see people pushing back. You see more dislikes than you do likes, especially when it comes to people's personal choices. Back to this idiots.
To the convo. In the IG Live, he said, I'm thinking clearly, not logically, whatever that means. He also said that he was being a voice for the voiceless. Who is the voiceless in this analysis? I'm not disagreeing. This is a sincere question. Who is the voiceless here? What is his thought process, you think? And why is he doing it?
Let me take a stab at it, LeBron, before you let this mass dude right here say what he got to say, which is stupid. But anyway, and I said it's stupid because to me it is stupid. But at the same time, when it comes down to the whole thing, when it comes to Kyrie, again, he don't have to explain nothing to nobody. It's his choice. What he said in his video is what he said. He said what he said, and I think y'all want him to say more. What he said at this point right now, for me getting a jab is a no. It's a no. Why can't you do like most men and accept that and move on? You're no different than any kind of perpetrator that keep on wanting to finesse people into doing something they don't want to do. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying, Lamont? Why would you do that? You don't want to talk to people that's going to push back on you because like when you have the Joe Browns on your show and people that push back on you, you want to get an attitude and you want to get emotional and have all these different talking points. But let's deal with the real. Let's deal with the real. This stuff right here, you're basically carrying the water for the media and all these people that want to take over and have control. And guess what? When they get through using you and all these people that's getting over here talking, they're going to turn on you just like I see y'all turning on Kyrie. Because like I said, when he was at, SJW out there standing up for George Floyd and everybody else, everybody called him a hero. But now that he's speaking out and he's using his platform for what you say, the voiceless, then that's what he's supposed to do. Just like when he was speaking out for the Black Lives Matter, because y'all were saying, "Oh, their voices need to be heard." So now that he wanted to speak up against something that opposes what y'all believe, y'all got a problem. Y'all a joke, man. But let me let the mask, talk about it.
Mark, your guess is as good as mine as who the voiceless are. He talks about people who are losing jobs because of a vaccine mandate, but that represents a sliver of the population. Also, when he says, I'm a voice for the voiceless, this was a man 2 weeks ago who had an opportunity on NBA Media Day. They call it Media Day because you have the attention of all the media. And there were questions about his availability, whether he was going to play or not, due to this municipal regulation. It's not an NBA regulation. This is a New York City regulation. And when asked about it several times, his response was, well, this is a private matter. I don't want to discuss a private matter. Brother, you can't talk about, I didn't have an opportunity to speak for myself. They spoke for me. I didn't say anything. When there was a day dedicated for you to speak on this matter, and you chose to opt out. You chose to say, I have nothing to say because this is my own private business. When you knew damn well it wasn't your private business. Regardless of whether everyone else is going through it, we knew. The NBA said, hey, if your local municipality says you cannot play in these games if you are unvaccinated, instantly that ceased to be a private matter and became, at the very least, an NBA public matter, a matter the media had a right to ask about, a matter that he had an opportunity to expound upon. He chose not to. So when he chooses several weeks later to dress up this whole like, I really didn't have a chance and they spoke for me. It kind of screams ingenuous.
Wait a minute, bro. Do you not see the hypocrisy? I wish that y'all can go back and look at some of the stuff that y'all claim that the left don't do. The hypocrisy is crazy. Now I just showed y'all the video. And those of you that will watch the video later, you will kind of put the connection together if you decide to watch it, But anywho, the hypocrisy, Joe Biden said emphatically, I'm not answering the question. When the guy even asked, well, don't the public have a right to know? No, they don't have a right to know. So if Kyrie is saying, and Joe Biden was running to be the president of the United States, and nobody really pushed on him like that and made him look bad because remember, he got 81 million votes, even after telling people, the public, they don't have a right to know what he's going to do as far as when it comes down to court packing and when it comes down to the filibuster. Now, when the left do it, it's okay. But if and I think Kyrie Irving is still a leftist. I don't think that he's a conservative, but when it comes down to it, he's basically saying the same thing Joe Biden said. I'm not answering that question because I don't want to. And you don't see all the vitriol when it came to President Biden because they voted for him in record number, remember? Y'all voted for him. So I don't understand this. And you big mad because on the day that he had a chance to address the media on media day, he refused to do it. And now he allegedly, according to y'all, came back with something that he concocted to come up and say to his IG followers. Nah, that's the way the dude felt. He told you from the beginning, this is a private matter. This is something that I'm going to discuss with my doctor and my family, and I really don't owe y'all no explanation. I thought at one time with the Hippocratic Oath and all these different things, that with the doctors with their oath. And then I always thought that, when it came down to the laws that we have, that you don't have to divulge your medical history. Now in California, you ain't got to tell nobody you got HIV, but you telling me which is a transmissible disease, which is something that can kill people, that has killed people, but yet you don't have to disclose that, but I got to disclose my vaccination. Man, y'all, something wrong with y'all, man. I'm telling you, the elevator don't go far to the top. That's just my opinion. I'm free to have one, right? In America. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Etan, what do you say to that, right? And I know you've been somewhat generous in your reading of the Kyrie Irving situation. Whether you agree with him on vaccines is a different issue. You're saying he's being somewhat unfairly assailed, that he's being demonized by folk, and that some people on the left have been treating him with the same animus that the right treats black athletes, telling them to shut up and dribble. But what Amin is saying is, wait a minute, he had an opportunity to talk. He was coy. He was difficult to reach. He bucked at the reporter's questions. He said it's a private matter, it's a personal matter. Are you going to play? It's a personal matter. Are you going to get vaccinated? It's a personal matter, etc. What do you say to that? Has he been forthcoming? Has he even been a voice for the voiceless?
Well, I have a little bit of a different take on it. I did see where he said it was a personal matter, and I think he does have the right to be able to say that because they wanted specifics that he was not able to give them at that time because he was still working through his process or whatever that process was in order to be able to either take the vaccine or not take the vaccine. And that's what he said. He said he was working through that. So when the reporters tried to ask in different ways about a timetable, when do you think by training camp, by that, he just cut it off and said it's a personal matter. But I don't think that gives the media the right to fill in the blanks. And that's what happened after that. Then they had anonymous sources that were all incorrect. Then they had people saying that, okay, he's going to retire. He's going to refuse the vaccine. He's anti-vax. Now, I will agree that he didn't specifically answer those questions the first time, but he had to go and correct people this last time because of all of those incorrect reporting that was done. Now, the thing that happens is when a lot of the media gets called out for reporting something that was incorrect, they immediately take offense. And we don't have to talk about the specific because he was very specific on the people who said that he was going to retire, and he said that it was incorrect. The people who said that he was anti-vax, and he said that they was incorrect. And so a lot of times when there's different things coming out and different narratives coming out, then it does kind of murky the water. It does kind of, like, okay, well, where is he then? Well, he's been where he's always been. He didn't say any of those. He's just answering the incorrect things that were put out. And for that, I don't fault him at all.
Okay. Now, but just in fairness, as a journalist, I can tell you, there's been times where I've done backgrounds, or I've done one-on-ones, I've done off the records, I've done all.
Journalists, journalists. I thought most journalists should be unbiased. Dude, you're the most biased person I ever seen, because you got to understand something, that the media is just not only attacking black athletes, because they attacked this man here. They attacked him big time because they alleged that he was taking horse dewormer. That's what they were saying. He was taking horse dewormer. He confronted this dude right here, Sanjay Gupta, that be on CNN. And then when he confronted Sanjay Gupta, was very humble, like a little church mouse. But then when it came down to he got on there with Don Lemonade, or Sour Lemon, whatever you want to call him. He got on his show and then basically tried to agree with Don Lemon, when Don Lemon said, well, yeah, they do give it to horses. They do. It's a lot of medicine that we take, that even humans take, that animals take, and vice versa. Like I say, because it doesn't affect you to the point where they kill you. But these people, they always want to make things about race, and that's what makes me mad about them, man. And it just don't make sense to me. It's a personal choice. And when the guy Eton said what he had to say about it, like, I respect the man. He made his decision. I respect whatever he's doing to a degree. Then Mark Lamont couldn't take that for what it was. He had to come back with another follow-up question because he didn't like the answer that he received. Man, it just takes common sense to be able to look through this foolishness, man.
Kinds of interviews with athletes, politicians, etc., and they say one thing to me in my face, and then they go out to the press conference and say they've been misrepresented, they've been lied on, etc. So I don't want to assume that because Kyrie said he didn't say it, that means he didn't say it. I also don't want to assume that the media is right, because the media also misrepresents what players say all the time. But I don't want to take Kyrie's word as gospel. Before we go, y'all, Stephon Marbury, and I only got about 45 seconds, because Stephon Marbury was all up in the comments on the IG, and one of the things he did was compare Kyrie Irving to Muhammad Ali. What do you make of that comparison? Is he doing something bigger than himself? Is he making a sacrifice for the people? I mean, I'll let you answer, and anytime I give you the last word.
I'll go real quick on this one. Muhammad Ali fought against an unjust war against other colored people in another country that had nothing to do with him or other people of color in this country, who were treated like trash, who were called all sorts of names, and then expected to defend this country on behalf of its stellar background or resume. Kyrie Irving is standing up for people who are scared of science. I mean, even if you have questions about whether or not this vaccine is good or applicable or whatever, the idea that this could be compared to forcing people to go to war against people who have no quarrel with them, to me, that was one of the biggest facepalm moments that Stephon Marbury would ever compare what Muhammad Ali did to what Kyrie is doing here. And I'll give you a great example. On the great scheme of injustices done against people, lack of freedoms, lack of civil liberties in this country, forget about in history, just in the last year and a half. Where does a vaccine rank on that?
I gotta roll. We're over time. I'm gonna have y'all both come back so we can continue to unpack this stuff. I gotta roll and take a break though. Etan, thank you so much for your insightful comments. Welcome back to Black News Tonight. The Brooklyn Nets have barred Kyrie Irving.
This right here is funny. Now the dude was saying basically, when it came to Stephon Marbury making his comment, comparing Kyrie Irving and Muhammad Ali together. He was saying basically Muhammad was standing up against people being forced into a war they didn't need to be into. Well, some people believe that people are being forced to take a jab that they don't need, especially if they have had COVID. We already know they've come out with studies saying that natural immunity is actually, if not better than having a jab. Okay. I know somebody personally that has been fully vaccinated, and they got COVID, right? I had COVID before, and last year, and I still have antibodies, and I have not been jabbed. Don't plan to be jabbed, so there's no confusion. Have not got the jab. Don't want to be jabbed, and he got COVID a second time. He has COVID right now. I mean, unless he went back and tested negative, but as of Monday, he had COVID, and had to give him Regeneron and all this and the third. So it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it should be a personal choice. So these people, they want to tell lies, and I'm with you on that, Francis, Miss Francis, that, you know, the media does tell lies all the time, but they trip, you know, they do twist the truth to fit their narrative. They do that all the time. They do that. Miss Francis, you're 100% correct. But I just hate the fact that, me personally, I don't care what you choose to do. I just don't do well with hypocrites. If you say one thing, then live up to it. Don't say one thing and then backtrack on it when it's not convenient for you. Because see, when Kaepernick was out here taking a knee, a lot of people was upset that he was unable to play football, and the NFL basically kicked him out of because he was standing up for what he believed. And so many people, Nike, they pretty much gave him this big old endorsement deal and all this stuff and all these perks and stuff. Kaepernick was out here saying we had to say everybody was down for him because he was speaking for the voiceless, right? You know, that's what they say. But then when Kyrie Irving says something that is against a solution that these people want to put out here for a problem that I believe they help cause, because when you fund the Wuhan lab and you fund gain of function, what do you expect? What do you expect? And I mean, again, these are things that I'm saying. YouTube may try to say, "Ooh, what I'm saying, it may not, they may not like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is not a lie." So I'm not spreading misinformation. I'm not spreading misinformation. It's just facts that we know to be true. And if people look it up, they'll find it out. And I want to share this one last clip that I have. James O'Keefe, man, I'm telling you, Project Veritas, man, he doing the thing, man. He opening up things. And this is one of the reasons why some people may not be ready to go out here and immediately take the jab. Let's go.
Experiment I did, and like this person got the vax twice and had no antibody response. And I was like, did this sample get like labeled wrong? Like I was like questioning it, and my boss was like, who cares? Like it just didn't work. And I'm like, what?
So the vaccine didn't work?
I guess so. I don't know. He didn't want me to investigate it further. He was like, I really don't care about this one sample that didn't work. Like, I guess there's a small percentage where it just doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for like some people, the vaccine just doesn't work a lot.
I guess so, dude. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. My boss was just like, looks like it didn't work. And I was like, what do you mean? He's just like, whatever.
That's how it goes. We ask the questions and they run.
Why did you send emails telling Pfizer employees?
Explaining anything about me.
You're a scientist for Pfizer.
So as I said, this is why some people are hesitant. This is why some people don't trust it. Because as I said last night to the leftists that I was having a debate with, is that if you came out the gate telling people the truth, maybe people have been more apt to listen to what you have to say. But when you come out immediately lying, and I don't care what the lie was for, a lie is a lie. And it's hard for people to trust you after you've lied. So he lied. People saw that he lied. Fauci lied. All these different things that Walensky lied. I always want to call her Lewinsky, but it's Walensky. But both of them suck. I'm just going to be honest with you. My personal opinion. Both of them completely suck. But anywho, you know, we know that President Biden has lied. You know what I'm saying? And they always counter the lies that Trump told. But when it comes down to Biden, nobody's keeping record of those lies. I don't understand. I mean, if it was unbiased, then I would be like, hey, I get it. But everything is slanted to the left. I was watching the video earlier with Mike, I believe his name is Mark Dice, and it was showing where Chevy Chase was saying that basically the media in Hollywood, they're more left-leaning. They're more into the liberal Democrat mindset. So when conservatives come out with their thoughts, we're automatically hushed because what we're saying is not adding something to the conversation that they feel is conducive. I don't understand it. I want to shout this brother out right here too, because I mean, this dude right here, Kwame Brown, man, this dude, his channel, man, I'm telling you, that dude is not a bust. Stephen A. done went after him too, just like he doing Kyrie Irving, just going after people, man. But one thing I like about one thing I like about Kyrie Irving and Kwame Brown is they both standing their ground. They're not backing down. Also, I want to plug Burberry 86 will be back next Friday doing his live, man. I mean, all of you that have followed him, if you haven't followed him, it's Burberry 86, and I believe it's the underscore on the end of the 86. Go follow him. I think I have it set up here. Let me check real quick. Nope, I don't have it set up. I have his old page, but it's Burberry 86 underscore. Go follow him, man. I mean, this dude is a little bit more radical. When I say radical, he's going to say it how he feel it. Me, I try to have some discretion. I try not to use some type of language because I do want to be respectful. And also, before I get off, to my audience last night that was watching the live debate, I apologize for the profanity. I didn't see it because the way the dude's stuff was set up, I'm thinking that I'm off camera and y'all was just hearing me, but I didn't know that the dude was saying all those curse words until I went and listened to the playback. And I was like, ooh, dude was using a lot of profanity. So that is something I would make sure that if I have anybody on this channel with me, that I make sure that I let them know to watch the language, because I am a Christian and I have a lot of Christian followers, and I definitely want to make sure they're respected. So I'm going to shut this video down. That's 47 minutes. I hope that it was, something that you learned from it. And also you can see the opposite side of what's going on. Again, if you want to, contribute or help this channel grow and you want to, support this channel, you can definitely do that. I mean, again, I've been getting these t-shirts made again. The shirts say, I don't want the Fauci ouchie, and it has the syringe on it. I don't want the Fauci ouchie. So if you like the shirt, and I'm getting those made, and that do cost money, and I'm trying to take things and put it back into this channel, because I do want to be able to be a voice for people that look like me and people that just may be afraid to speak out. One thing about me, I'm not going to censor what I got to say. That's just not who I am. I'm not going to do it. I feel like one thing I should be able to do is say what I need to say, and you should have a right to agree or disagree, and we should be able to move on from there. But when I look at people like Mark Lamont Hill and those clowns get on here and get mad at another grown man because of a personal choice, that's when I have a problem. But they don't have a problem with a little kid at 5 years old saying that they're a girl and their parents wanting to mutilate their body. They don't have a problem with that. I have more of a problem with that than I do with somebody not taking a jab, because the kids are is our future, man. They don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with the teachers teaching CRT. They don't have a problem with, because President Biden talking about they're going to use the FBI to target parents because they vehemently disagree with their kids being taught to hate. But nobody's really mad about. These are things that we should really be having a problem with. We should be having a problem with them wanting to use the IRS to look into your account and see if you spent over $600. That should be a problem. But this idiot last night that I was talking to, he was basically saying that we need more big government. I'm telling you, man, this mindset that we're in, this is why they have so much control. But a lot of people have awakened. They're not woke. They have awakened. They're aware of what's going on around them, and they're saying no, they're pushing back. And we got to stand together, because united we stand, divided we fall. And it ain't got nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, black or white. This is about us being Americans as a whole, because the tyranny they're trying to enforce does not have anything to do with us being black or white, Republican or Democrat. It's about having control over the American people, where they want to take control over the world and have everybody to bow down to this beast system. We need to wake up, and we need to do it quickly. Because if everybody get in line with this, then when they push out their next propaganda thing they're trying to get everybody to sign up on, everybody going to get on it. So right now we need to delay some of this stuff that's going to happen. Do I believe we're going to be able to stop it completely? No, because the Bible lets us know that, things got to happen. Prophecy must be fulfilled. But at the same time, I do believe that we can delay it. Just like if we have somebody that got shot, if we take them to the hospital, that can delay them dying. Does that mean they're going to live forever? No, they're going to die eventually. That's a fact. But we can delay it. And I feel like some of the stuff that's being pushed, we maybe not be able to stop it completely, but we can delay it where at least our children can have a chance to have a chance of a future. Because right now, the way it's looking, that's not going to happen. I've said my say. I'm done. Those of you that was on, let me check the comments real quick. Yeah, you're right, Miss Francis. It wasn't my fault. And I take ownership because it's my channel. And so I should have, been more cognitive of what he was doing. But the reason why I couldn't really pay attention to the curse words because I was trying to, one, make out what he was saying. It was hard for me to hear him. Number two, I could see him. Y'all couldn't. So I was distracted. So I'm trying to focus so I don't lose focus. As you know, I had to feed him his talking points because he forgot them. So I was having to remind him. So trying to think for myself and to respond to him and to make sure that he understood those curse words was just kind of going over my head. But I promise you, next time I will be more cognizant of what's going on and I'll address that accordingly. And I appreciate y'all telling me, get them to stop dropping the F-bombs. I think that's why the video was put on by YouTube. They automatically put it to the 18 and over. It wasn't public. It was 18 and over because of the language. And like I said, again, that's not the language I use. That's not who I am. But, needless to say, I can't control people's mouth, but I can't control what they do in my presence as far as if it's disrespectful or respectful, because I'm trying to be respectful to everybody. And everybody know last night I was very respectful. I'm not that type of person to where I'm not going to give you a chance to say what you need to say, but it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. So I definitely can get with that. All of you, again, that have supported this channel by subscribing, I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, comment, because I'm trying to grow this channel more and more. Like I say, and me and Burberry was having a conversation today where, we want to, collab on some things. And Joel, I want to give him a shout out. Joel Media Network, want to give him a shout out. I know, he give me shout outs when I'm on this channel, or if I'm, in the chat, he'll call me out. Jericho Green, Brandon Tatum, ABL, there's a lot of people out here that I do listen to, that I do respect highly. I don't have to always agree with them, but I respect them highly. Eric July, Young Ripper, man, I'm gonna tell you that dude right there. Go look him up. YONUG Ripper, RIPPA. Man, I'm telling you, he tear Dr. Fauci out all the time. He always tearing him up. So this, like I said, I don't mind plugging nobody, because like I told Burberry this morning, is that I don't mind sharing any stage, because it's not all about me. And you're right, Miss Francis. He need to read the Bible. A lot of people don't want to subscribe to the Bible, because the Bible, it really convicts you, not condemn you. It convicts you into doing better. It makes you look within yourself and make you see that you're not perfect. Some of us have been told or made to believe that we're perfect, but when we read the Word of God, we see that we're not perfect. And it's the scriptures and it's the Word of God and His Spirit that perfects us. It's nothing about us that is perfect. It's that Spirit, the Holy Spirit inside of us, that is perfecting us. So I think that's where a lot of people don't like the Bible, and then the Bible goes against a lot of their narratives, because the Bible will succinctly say what God approves of and what God disapproves of. And because man always want to usurp the authority of God, then this is what happens. And you're fine. You comment all you want to. I mean, I love that comment, because I learn from y'all. I'm telling you, like, I'm not one of those people, and I thank God that this platform is not as large where you got some people that say something is ignored. When you guys speak, I take that under advisement. Like when you say, make sure, Miss Francis, make sure he watches language. When I saw that, I said, you're right. I got to make sure that I listen. I got to learn, because I'm teachable. I'm not a person that I know it all. I don't know everything. I learn from everybody. And the thing is, if you're teaching something with soundness, I'm going to listen. If you're talking foolishness, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it like fish with bones. I'm going to eat the fish. I'm going to spit out the bones. It's just that simple. And so Again, I'm not expecting my channel to be like Brandon Tatum's or to be like Jericho Green's or anybody else's, because I'm not those people. I'm me. And I got to stay true to me. When I start becoming like everybody else, then I'm losing value for myself. And that means I don't appreciate me. I love Dante, and I love who I am, and I love who God has created me to be, and I love who God is creating me to be, because I'm not the person I used to be. The person I used to be was full of emotion because I was full of trauma, unresolved trauma. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. People get mad at me because I say I'm not in the homosexual lifestyle anymore. Haven't been in it for 7 years. People, well, you was born gay. Well, I've been born again. Now what? What's your argument? Yeah, that may have been what I lived. That may have been the life I live, and I don't hide it. I don't hide it. I just let people know there's hope out here. And I think that's why people are falling for all of this stuff that's going on, because of hopelessness. Nobody feel like there's no hope. But I am not a person that is without hope. I'm not without hope. I'm not that dude. And he ain't gonna want to debate me again. I mean, Miss Francis, he realized that was a losing battle. That his talking points was basically like I was talking to Don Lemon on CNN, because everything he talked about was emotional. Lawrence, that's I salute you on that, man. I salute you on that. That's what's up, man. I mean, like I said, if we have those of us, and I don't even know y'all taking me here. I really was going to get off, but y'all here, so I'm gonna talk to you. A lot of people think that sex is everything. I mean, in your humanness, in your flesh, yes, sex is good, but it's not everything. It's not everything. And Miss Francis, to your point, yes, it was God that brought me out, because I tried many a times, but what people don't understand is that trauma is a gateway to a lot of things. Like when you don't resolve your trauma, no, I'm talking about your comment when you say you were celibate since 2007, Lawrence. What I'm saying is, man, I commend you on that. Now, as far as that fool last night, that's a whole different thing. He's not going to debate me because that's a losing battle. But as far as your being celibate since 2007, man, that's something that's commendable. That's commendable. And I respect that to you, man. I mean, much respect. And I've been celibate since 2013. So I'm pushing up there. I'm not quite where you are, but until I get married, it's a no for me. But as I was saying, is that trauma you have people on drugs, have people doing all types of things. And that's why I did go to counseling. Yes, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I believe that God put me on the earth with people that can help me. I'm not in this struggle by myself, and I'm not on the island by myself. And when I have days of weakness, I call people that's stronger than me, and I have them to encourage me and to talk to me, and I just keep it real. And that's what we need to have, more transparency. And that's just where I'm at. I'm not here to hate on nobody. I love everybody. I can't say I have the love of God in my heart and then I hate people, because I understand that there's no haters, there's no murderers in heaven, and I don't want to be considered a murderer, because the Bible says if you hate your brother, you're like a murderer. You know what? I'm about like that too, Lawrence. I really wasn't really into the sex like that. For me, it was more or less the sex was more or less me doing something because I felt that I had to. I didn't really want to do it, but I did it because I felt like if I don't do it, the person will leave. So now, because I have a God that promised to never leave me or forsake me, I don't have to prostitute myself out to all these different spirits that I was taking in, because he's with me. And so I don't have to do anything but love him and serve him. And he's going to stay. And even when I didn't do everything he said, and even when I mess up, he still remains. So that's why I love him so much, man. That's why I would never let nobody take this love that I have for God, the Most High God. I would never let them take that away from me. So I really don't want to do a long video, but let me say this, and I'm gonna get off, is that I do want to do a panel discussion. Like I know Jamie, right. Companionship is awesome. And I think that doing these YouTube videos for me is an outlet. It put my mind on things that's more constructive than destructive. And so that's why I like doing the videos. I like to focus on things. And I realize it's 24 hours in a day. If I work 8 hours out of that day, and then I do other things to keep my mind off whatever or my loneliness, then I have time to, focus on things that are important. So companionship is awesome. Like I say, I have friends that, everything is strictly platonic, and we can go out and I hang out with my family. So what I realize is that I don't need a bedmate to be able to be happy. I don't need it. I don't need it. And I learned how to love myself. That's the thing. Like, I really have a love for myself. Am I in love with myself where I don't love people? No. But I have a love for myself and a respect for myself that I'm just not going to just give myself to anybody because I'm in a moment, because I understand moments pass. But sometimes those moments can leave you with scars that live a lifetime. And I don't want that in my life. I've had too many scars that I can look at to remind me that you don't want to get burned again, or you don't want to get hurt again. So I wish that people would learn from their mistakes, but some people won't do it. And you're right, Miss Francis. My mind is set on heavenly things. I'm more or less, because I know time is really short. I am working on and wanting to hear the Father say to me, "Well done." That's what I want to hear. Well done. I don't care about nobody saying on YouTube, "Oh, that was a great show." I take those compliments too. But to hear my Father say, "Well done," that's my goal. I don't want him to say that you did all these things on earth. You said things in my name. You prophesied in my name. You prayed for people, and they actually got well because you used my name. But I still don't know you. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear well done. I want to be able to be with the Father forever. And I don't have to worry about nobody mandating no jabs or mandating us not to talk about certain things. We'll be able to freely praise him. And Lawrence, I'm gonna tell you something. The rapture, I mean, some people believe in it, some people don't. I believe there will be a calling away, but I think that time is not yet, because even Matthew 24, it alludes to all the things that will happen, and Jesus even said that the end was still not yet. So even after the earthquakes in diverse places, pestilence and famine and all that, he said that after all those things happen, the end will still not be yet. So it's a lot more. I think that the devil don't even realize, or the people don't even realize, they're being used to speed up the time. Even God himself said he would shorten the time so the elect wouldn't be deceived. And deception is running so close, they're parallel to truth, that we don't really understand it. So, but if you have the Holy Spirit, then he will show you things to come. So the rapture, I don't think that is going to happen no time soon. And it could, but in my personal opinion, and thinking and just looking at eschatology, I don't see it happening no time soon, because the wicked one, and according to Thessalonians, I think it's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the Bible says that the son of perdition will be revealed before the coming of Christ. So this deception got to run its course. And this is why we got to learn and ask God to give us endurance, because the Bible says that those that endure to the end, he'll give them a crown of life. So, I'm not, y'all making me go Bible, but here it is, So when it come down to it, we just got to ask God to give us strength to endure, and to endure hardness as a good soldier, and not to give up in the middle of it. And even if he comes back today, we need to be ready. If he come back 10 years from now, we need to be ready. If he come back 100 years from now, if we're still here, we need to make sure that we're ready. And that's the goal that churches should be pushing, that get your life ready and get your heart right with God, not to try to preserve your life to stay on this earth, because at the end of the day, you want to preserve your life here and do the works of God, but it shouldn't be the only goal. If your only goal here is to make more money or to get more influence and not to really show the love of God, then I think that's a problem. That's just my personal opinion. Some people may agree and not agree, but hey, it is what it is. But I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. You guys are rock stars in my eyes. I respect you highly. Miss Francis, thank you again. Lawrence, my man, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad to have people like y'all, because sometimes I'll be going through rough times where, the devil get in my mind and say, just off yourself. Nobody really cares about you. Nobody really cares if you live or die. But I understand that God cares that I live or die. He cares. And I got to care as much. So even on my rough days, sometimes I do videos just so I can have an outlet. And once I get it out, I'm better. So that's that. But I do want to do a panel discussion, and I know Jamie again. She was, wanting to get on last night, and I couldn't see that she wanted to get on. But we're gonna do a panel discussion on this channel, and just have a conversation. Kelly, what's up? And we're gonna talk. And I want to talk about real issues. I mean, I want to talk about people that that will be honest, that has gone through sexual abuse as a kid, and the things how they got through it. Because I think people need to hear that. If we don't share our stories, if we don't tell our testimonies, how do we expect people to overcome? I don't know. I'm gonna check that out, Miss Francis. I'll check that out. And you said it's the Rapture by Rich Siebert. I believe that's how the name is pronounced. That's your husband's book. Okay, definitely will look into that. Can I find it on Amazon? Let me know if I can find it on Amazon before I log off. Because I love to read books that match up with scripture. I believe I read the book. What was it? Something about hell. Can't remember. It's the Baxter lady. She wrote the book about hell, and some of the things that she wrote about in that book. My mom got my book. I need to get it back, but she was writing about the book and talking about hell, and how hell is real. And she was giving descriptions of what's going on, and even some of the things she said that she saw in the spirit realm that would be taking place in times like this. It's just crazy. So I believe God give a lot of people insight on what's going on. And I believe the Holy Spirit is speaking to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't understand it because they haven't communed with the Holy Spirit in a long time, and so they think they're going crazy, but they're not crazy. They know what they're hearing, and they just need to listen to that voice, especially if it's leading them to righteousness or right thoughts or right beliefs and right practices. They need to listen to that. You know, if it's fiction, it doesn't matter. I still like to read books. I like to read. I mean, I'm an author myself. I've written 2 books. I really don't push it out there like that, but I've written 2 books myself, and writing is therapeutic. I'm thinking about writing a 3rd book, but it's so time consuming, and once you write the book and then you put the book out, you realize, man, I had so many more things I want to say. And so I understand why authors when they write books, um they have to write so many sequels because you have so many thoughts and points that you didn't put in your last book. So yeah, I've written 2 books, and on Amazon I have them as Beaten but Not Destroyed. And then I think it's Beaten, well, Broken Not Destroyed. Thought I had a copy of it here, but then I have one, Overcoming Offenses and Rejection. So, a lot of scripture in it. Good. I'll definitely check it out. I think I'll go in there now and look it up. As soon as I get done with this, I got a little slight headache, so y'all keep me in your prayers. But I'm getting ready to get off. Maybe this blue light from the computer is bothering my eyes. They hurting a little bit, but needless to say, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself together, and we will talk soon. All right. Peace.